welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, September 11, 2025. So we start off with Stephanie and Alex, and they're just discussing what really transpired. Alex is asking, you know, did she find out who was really behind the investigation, who bugged the Titan the Mirror office? So she said that she can't really reveal who it is. She knows who was investigating them with the Foyer merger, but she doesn't know who really bugged the room. So Alex is saying, look, I have to tell Xander this, I have to report to him. And she's saying she has to know that she can trust them with the information, because if she can't, she's not gonna reveal who was it, right? So he said, okay, I'm gonna trust you. I'm not gonna tell Xander, tell me who it is. So she said her father. So he said, like, why would your father be investigating Time the Mirror? So she said, look, he's a PI guy. He was hired to investigate what's going on there, but he did not bug the room. So Alex is also thinking what Stephanie's thinking, which is, the client must be behind this. So anyways, she can't tell him about the client because she herself doesn't know who it was. So now he's frustrated because he has to provide something to Xander. And now, he's just saying he wished she told him sooner about her dad. And she's now saying that, look, I did whatever I can to help Xander. It's not my problem that he's in this. And, Alex is saying, you know what? You're right. It's not our problem. Xander got himself into this. And I'm saying, wait a minute. You guys hid a very important secret from him about Philip. And, you guys are just as responsible as well. It's not Xander's fault initially. So anyways, she's saying, he didn't even take my advice about, legitimizing Philip as CEO. So he did tell Alex did tell Stephanie that, look, he did actually take your advice and he's actually legitimizing Philip as CEO. So she's happy to hear that. So today is also the conference, the press meeting for the novel that she wrote, right? So he's just telling her that he's going to be giving it a lot of high praise, and they, kiss and all that, and that was it. So Chanel is talking to Johnny about adopting again. Before that, Johnny was preparing his notes for class today because, again, this is his first day as professor at Salem U. He's just getting prepared, and then he's going to be having a busy day because after that, he has to also report to Titan the Mirror because they're having a press meeting for the novel that Stephanie wrote, and he has to also do some media work, right? So anyways, she said, I guess you won't have time for me. So he said, no matter how busy I am, I always have time for you. What's up? So she said that, look, everything has transpired recently with the trial and everything with your father. I want to see how best we can, move forward. And I think we need to revisit the conversation about having a baby or adopting. So he is on board because, he remembered how he messed up the first time. And she doesn't blame him because, again, it was his father that did all that, and that caused him to have a lot of unresolved feelings towards him. And then the trial happened was a whole lot, and she doesn't hold that against him, but at the same time, she's just ready to move forward, and she thinks this is the best way to do it. So he's on board this time, and she's happy about it. He's saying, let's try again. And she said, remember, I'm not clear to try again naturally, so let's go through the adoption route. We tried with Sylphie and Tate's baby, but that didn't work out. So maybe let's try out with the baby that was left at the firehouse. So, Johnny's on board with it, but at the same time, he doesn't want her to get her hopes up because a lot of couples are in the running for that baby. And, what if it doesn't work out? So she said, look, at least we tried. I'd rather we tried and we never tried before, and then I would definitely be bummed out about it. She also said that her mom is the mayor, and maybe she can pull some strings. And he said, he would be hypocritical to not say not to use connections, but he's just hoping that everything works out, right? Now let's more talk about babies and adoption. And Tate is having lunch with Holly, and he's telling Holly about the recent stuff he found out about Sophia, and that he found out that was a semi-open adoption, and that what that means is that the parents know their information. However, he cannot find out where they live, what's going on with them, or actually see his own child. So she's sorry to hear that, and she's saying that look, at least Sophia got to meet them, and she knows who they are. So he's saying maybe that's a brilliant idea. Maybe we can ask Sophia about their names and what their title is. Like maybe we can look it up online and see, if we can find out some information. But I'm saying, Tate, if she is not forthcoming with the picture of the actual baby, and also not forthcoming with the type of adoption, why do you think that she is going to actually tell you their actual names? Who's to say if she's not going to make that up as well? So he tells Holly about the picture and how it was doctored, because again, everybody, even a 4-year-old, could look at that and tell you that's definitely not real, right? But anyways, he tells Holly, and Holly's sorry to hear that. And, Holly gave him the bright idea to actually look into it and ask Sophia what's going on, because he's definitely not feeling good about not seeing his child, not having that closure, right? He's definitely bummed out about not actually meeting his own child. So Harvey's not in the best of moods, and it's because the time has come, few days left with Tesaro, and they have to give him up. So Leah comes out, Leah asks him what's going on, and he tells him about it. And he's saying you know he thought about actually adopting the child legally together, and Leah is also on board with it. But at the same time, he did talk to adoption attorney. He didn't tell Leo at first because, again, there were some complications. They have to go through extensive background checks and other things regarding the adoption process. And, Leo's thinking maybe it has to do with his past and everything. And Javi said, it's not about you, it's just about me, right? So he's saying, like, what's going on? Like, anything you can tell me, like, I won't judge you or anything like that, right? So Javi says to him that, look, I'm keeping a secret from you, and I also needed to let you know that, look, I had a daughter in the past and she died. So that was where it cut off, because he didn't tell Leo the exact cause of what happened. And we need to know what really happened. Like, was it caused by him? Was it accidental? Because it seems like a very heavy burden on him, right? So Brady's walking Rachel to school, and she wanted to get some food, pet food for her lizard, and he said, we can't stop for that. And she said, I thought you said we had enough time. So he said, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you for a sec, right? So he sits her down to talk to her about how she's feeling, and also about her mom going to jail. And of course that's making her really upset. And she asks him, like, how many years does she have? So he tells her it's 6 years, and he said maybe it won't be that long, and maybe she'll get off early. So again, Rachel's not comforted by that, because by that time she will be in high school. She'll be probably 18, 17, 18, finishing high school, and that doesn't sit well with her. She's visibly upset. She's asking Brady, when can she see her? So he said, look, I have to look into it. It's not like it's gonna happen real soon. So of course she's just not feeling it. So he said, you know what, let's take a day off school, let's go get all the pastries at Sweet Bits. So she said no, she's not interested. She just want to go to school. Thomas would be there, and she already did all the homework. She could just take it in for credit. So he's proud of her for just being strong and resilient through it all, and he walks her to school, right? Now, Holly ends up seeing Rachel outside of school sitting on a park bench, and she's saying, like, Rachel, shouldn't you be in school? So she said she snuck out of school at the first, but I'm saying there's no security to figure out, like, a child has been out of school. Like, nobody has contacted Brady at all, like, to say, okay, your kid is missing. Nothing. What kind of school is this? So anyways, she tells her that she cut school after the first bell because she's just not feeling good. She wants to run away because of what's going on with her mom being in jail, and she feels a lot of guilt because her mom probably argued with EJ and caused this whole shooting, and because she was trying to protect her grandma, because she worked along with her grandma to kidnap Ava to stay away from her father. So now she's feeling a lot of guilt that her mom had to go to jail because of her. And Holly said that, look, it's not your fault. Sometimes grown-ups make grown-up decisions, and the effects, at the end of the day, it's on them, right? So She says, look, you're brave and you're strong and you're going to get through it. And you have people that love you. So it was a really a touching moment between Holly and Rachel. So Holly ended up walking her back to school to finish up, right? Now Tate run into his dad in the square, and he's asking him, what's up, because he should be in class or school at this moment. So he said that he's about to buy a textbook, whatever. And he talks to Brady about, you know, his lunch with Holly, and that maybe Sophia has information on the actual names of the adopted parents. I mean, she did say they were Christian, they were brought up well, they were doctors, so maybe they can look into that, find some information that can link him to actually meeting up with his baby. So Brady said, we have to be careful about this, because what if Sophia's lying about this? Has she lied about the picture, the adoption process? You never know. So all we can do is try, and hopefully she's forthcoming, right? So Tate understands that, and he thanks his dad for just being there with him and actually trying to help him to figure this thing out, right? So he heads up to buy the textbook, and Brady calls Steve and says, look, remember, I told you that the baby from the firehouse could not be Sophia's because of the timeline. Now Tate actually provided him with that information to say that, she was acting weird around the 4th of July, and she didn't want him to touch her stomach, talking about she's tired of being poked and prodded. And, she was just acting really cagey about a lot of things, definitely different mental state of mind. So that, gave Brady the aha moment to say, maybe the timelines do add up. Maybe the baby from the firehouse is actually Sophia. So he's asking Steve to actually look into it. So kudos to Brady to finally use his few brain cells to actually solve something, right? Hopefully can use that to figure out that Kristen is actually taking a rap for their daughter, right? But that is it, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my channel. Comment below your thoughts on today's episode. I will see you guys tomorrow.